It's not
for
a
neither
lifetime government
Republican nor
employee.
Democrat.
It's not. No, no. It's like
What?
somebody. It's not a lifetime employee. It's somebody that was somehow appointed, most likely.
Well, he's pretty much purged most of the Obama people that were left. So I don't think there are any really that's left. Okay. Um, I mean, look, Senator Bob Corker said it best last October, almost a year ago, when he talked about adult daycare, you know. And that's basically what it is. It's you have those closest to the president are trying to keep our country safe from him.
Yeah, but it's you just don't know. Trump talks and he yells and he screams and he says things. That's
Well,
his
but you see,
nature.
he's not very presidential, okay?
No.
If he wanted to shake things up, he's doing it.
Yeah.
Things
Yeah.
have already been
Yeah.
shaken up, I
He's never
mean,
gonna. He's never gonna be a
and the sad thing
presidential.
is, what?
He's never gonna be presidential. He doesn't have it in him to do
Well,
that. He's a corporate CEO.
well,
Corporate.
he still thinks that he still thinks that the government should be run like his business was run, where nobody questioned him at all. His word was law, and that just, it's just not the case. You can't do
Well,
that. He
if
has
you
to
listen
answer
to
to the
his
people.
advisors, they say he listens to them all the time, and he asks a lot of questions, and some of the questions sound stupid because he's not a politician. You don't listen.
Well,
You don't know. You just don't know. All I can go by is this is the quietest that North Korea has been in years.
but
Forget
they're
about
also not abiding by what they promised him,
it. It doesn't matter,
as
but
far as,
at least there are no atomic
well,
tests. They're not sending any missiles. As long as they're not doing that, and there's still communication, it's a positive thing. If there was communication,
well,
if he's,
I wish he would do more communicating with Canada, Mexico,
Mexico already
Great
settled with
Britain, and
him.
France, and Germany.
Mexico
Yeah, well,
settled
that's
already.
Mexico.
Mexico is good.
Well, that's already, yeah, right. That's one. You still
He,
have Germany,
no,
Great
he's
Britain, France,
Canada.
and Canada.
Canada, he's negotiating with. The European Union already agreed to on the trade in principle with him, even though it hasn't been finalized. But when the guy came in, the president
Well,
of the
yeah, but
EU,
yeah,
when the president of the EU had the meeting with him, they came back and they both said they agree on the principles of how to negotiate a new trade agreement between the EU and the United States. And they were willing to
well,
accept zero tariffs on both sides on some products except for cars. So there was progress,
all
and
right.
there are more jobs now than in God knows how many years. There are more jobs than there are unemployed people. It's the lowest unemployment numbers for blacks, Hispanics, Asians in history. Women, it's a low of 40 years or something of unemployment. So, manufacturing jobs are up. So you could look at it that way. This and the G and
Yeah, well, yeah, but
and the
there's
gross.
still a lot of disgruntled factory employees in the Midwest saying they're not happy with with the tariffs. The farmers, the agricultural industry. is not happy because they feel they're suffering. You know, um, he made promises. When you go to his rally, it says promises made, promises kept, but they're not always kept.
Well, listen, he
You know,
kept
that's
more promises than any other president when he was campaigning. He promised certain things, and every one of them is coming true.
well.
And
I know
and
you and I had this discussion before, but I still say what people don't understand. And again, talking to my accountant and other people who have spoken to their accountants, I'm sure maybe you've spoken to your accountant, but I still think that come income tax time, people are going to be very disappointed because a lot of the money that they got
it
in
doesn't
their
work that way.
monthly check or whatever is going to
Yeah. If there's
wind up
anybody
being given
listening to
back.
this who knows something about tax law, give us a call. It'll be great. But
Well,
no, from what?
you got to give them the number. Got to give them the number
Oh,
first.
that's right. The number is, God knows, 323-642-1096. And even though it's a California number, we are in New York. Give us a call.
It just means we go coast to coast.
We go coast to coast. Yep. So anyway, the what I started saying was what was I saying? I don't remember now. I know. I know. What do they call that when you forget? A senior moment.
Oh yeah, well, considering you're above 65, you're having a senior moment.
Shh. You don't
It
have to
sounds
give
a
away.
lot better when you say that.
Yeah, you don't have to give people our information about my age or your age.
Well, I didn't say how old you were. You could have been 65 in one day. I don't know.
But I could have been 55 and 45, but now that thought is gone. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
That's
We sh-
very
you know,
true.
we'll see what historians say about him when they start digging into it. That's the only time we'll know exactly what happened.
Well,
When all the
eventually
when
we're
all
going to
the
know who
politicians,
who did what.
yeah, when all the politicians leave the cabinet and Trump is gone, they're gonna we'll see what kind of books they write, and about their
Well,
experiences at the White House.
let me just remind you what they said on the news. Okay, they were talking about Nixon and the guy who was Deep Throat. Okay, the guy who gave them all the inside information about the money and everything.
Hmm.
Uh, it was only, I believe, 2 years ago when the man finally died from cancer that his family came out and said that he was Deep Throat after denying it for so many years,
Yeah,
for over 40 years. The man denied that it was him, you know, so it may take another 40 years for this person to come out and say he
yeah,
was,
yeah,
supposedly the voice of reason.
but just think
And if
about
that's
this.
the case, I hate to tell you, Felix, but I'll be dead,
Well,
you
listen,
know?
nah, you'll be around. You'll be walking with two canes, but you'll
40
be
years?
here. You never know.
Yeah, really, really.
Uh, Science
But
changes.
how's that?
Science, you never know.
Yeah, that's true. But now we also have
Did you have to hit? Did you
we
hear that?
also have what? What was that?
It's just a sound. I want to see if you hear it.
Oh yeah, I was wondering what were the bells, you know. But look, we could also also discuss the Kavanaugh
Cabin,
hearings that are going on now.
the judge.
Hey, here come the judge.
Yeah,
Um,
these things are Definitely, it's so political. Most of the questions,
Well, but I could understand why they're worried. The Democrats, for the most part, are worried about, there are certain things that Kavanaugh says he's citing precedent, which means he doesn't want to say anything, because it might come up, if he is appointed to the bench, some things might come up that he may have to rule on,
yeah,
so he doesn't want to talk about it now. But the problem is,
Ginsburg
uh,
and every other judge has said the same thing. Every judge
well,
has said it.
yeah, but the big question that they asked, which is true, okay, they want to know, you're being named by Trump. There is a good possibility, okay, that should you be confirmed, that you will have to sit on the bench and listen to arguments about, does the president have the right to be subpoenaed? Because he seems to feel that there are certain powers of the presidency that can't be challenged. Okay?
Well,
And if it becomes obvious that this president has done certain things, then he has to expect that he's going to be brought up on charges.
he
Now, is
said
he
the
going to recuse
president. He
himself?
said the president is not above the law.
Well, but that's very vague. Can he sit on a court and be impartial when it comes to ruling,
He said
or will
yes.
he
He
do
said
the right
yes.
thing and recuse himself?
No, he said he could be
You know,
impartial.
uh,
He said,
Justice Elena Kagan has recused herself from many decisions because it had to do with things that came up while she was a Solicitor General,
mhm.
okay, under the Obama administration. So, she had to recuse herself.
Well, so
And
far,
what they want to know is, will he go as far as to recuse himself from any of those decisions?
no. What he said he will be
That's fair.
impartial. He said he's going to be impartial with anything that goes on. He said,
Felix, people, yeah, but words are cheap. People could say anything. Okay, you know that.
yeah. Well, I was listening to him,
I
and
mean,
he,
that's what put Sessions. That's why Trump is so upset with Sessions, because he said, first he said he had no dealings with any Russians. Then he said, oh yeah, I remember I did, and blah blah blah. So he finally recused himself from the whole investigation,
yeah,
and that's why Trump was all up in arms.
yeah.
You know, in that case, I will say that Sessions did the right thing by recusing himself.
But he should have
You
told the
know,
president before that he was not. He was going to do it. That he had problems with it. I think.
I honestly feel that, not only Sessions, but there were other people also that had meetings, or I hate to say a run-in, not really a run-in with an argument, but, they met with Russians, and for some reason it escaped them, and they told the Congress one thing and it was really something else, you know.
That's called lying.
So, well, whatever it is, but I think a lot of these people thought that they could get away with it. And the bottom line is, uh, let's face it, I firmly believe, because, what was it? It was Clinton when I watched that RBG about Ruth Bader Ginsburg on CNN.
Hmm.
Okay, when they interviewed Clinton, he said he really wanted Mario Cuomo to be the Chief Justice, a justice on the Supreme Court, but he turned it down. And if you remember, in 1984, Mario Cuomo gave the keynote speech at the Democratic Convention, and everybody was saying, oh, look out for Mario Cuomo in 88, But I think Mario Cuomo did the smart thing. Same thing with Colin Powell when they wanted him to run for vice president, the Republicans, and then president, years ago. All right, this is just after the Gulf War. And a lot of